Hi friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. I hope that you're having a great day. And if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure that you do. And then if you want to see these come through, make sure you highlight that bell so that you get notifications when they come through. Okay, this is part 2 of financial recommendations and so forth to help you survive the upcoming current storm that we are in. So this one, I am going to talk about clothing needs. And so it should be brief, I think, but I do like to talk. So what you want to do is when you're shopping for clothes, make sure that you purchase quality. Can you buy quality at thrift stores? Absolutely. And oftentimes that's where I get some of mine. Sometimes, like for kids, the quality doesn't have to be there, but there is a resale if you're going to a consignment store. You can bring it back and kind of almost do an even switch. So what I want to share is, and some of these are going to be repeated for like other items, but we're going to go with clothing. So that's going to be my focus. Purchase quality. And when you purchase, make sure that if you wear, my husband has 7 pairs of jeans for the week. And I always have, like I think I shared in a prior post, that he had 2 extra, kind of sitting in the closet. But he also have said, Laura, my jeans are getting worn out. So what I did was I said, okay, here is a couple of jeans that you can take when they're gone. And he has to hand me those jeans because I repurpose them. But I also started watching the sales so that I could replenish those jeans once he uses them. So now, right now, he has like 4 pairs of jeans and they're good quality jeans that I watched the sales and I got for $10 a pair. Yes, I did that. And you can too. So depending on and it's a name brand. It's a brand that he likes, he's comfortable wearing. Same thing applies with undergarments, socks, and so forth. You don't have to buy the cheapest socks. You want to buy socks that will last. Now, I'm not one who likes wool socks because I have a sensitivity to wool against my skin. But wool is great for keeping you warm. So even like a wool sweater, I still like them. I just wear another garment underneath, like a long sleeve t-shirt or, whatever. Socks, I just wear another layer of socks underneath it if the house gets so cold. So what other types of clothes? You've got, if you go to work, you have a wardrobe. You don't have to have a new outfit every day for the month. You can switch that out, learn how to take one skirt and make it go with different blouses and all that kind of stuff. So that's what you want to look for, is make your clothing work for you. So, and honestly, how many people are going to actually see that you wore that same blouse last week? I guess there's some snobs out there that do. Sorry to call you a snob if that's what you are. I have clothes. I've been looking at some of my pictures and I've got sweaters that I've been wearing for 20 years. And I'm like, whoa. And it's like, I need to get something new, but I don't. But when I see something at a good price of my interest, I get it. Why do my sweaters last? Because they are well made and they're classics and they will go the length of time. And so that's why I get them. Plus, I also steal my husband's sweaters because he doesn't wear them very often. But I try to make sure I'm purchasing items that will be of quality. Now, when you're buying clothes, make sure that if it's a dry cleanable item, can you clean it on your own? Not all dry cleaned items have to go to the dry cleaners. There's a lot of chemicals in that. But there are many things that you can clean on your own. You just got to learn how. And I will try to share how I clean my wool jackets. And yes, even though I don't like wool against me, I do have wool jackets because they last. And I've had my wool jackets for a long time. I love them and they keep me warm. Sometimes I might have to change the lining. It's something that I can do. Being a seamstress, that's something I learned how to do a long time ago, so I can replace linings. You might not be able to, but if you take good care of that coat and you store it properly in the off season, that coat will last you a long time. Make sure you don't put keys in your pockets that can tear open your pockets. If you do, they just have to be stitched up and repaired, and a seamstress can actually put a layer of protection. That we have our secrets that we can do to make your pockets last longer when that happens. When you're buying clothes that come with that little extra button, your knit sweaters, whatever, they come with this little cute little extra button or two. Do not just throw those in a drawer that you will forget and lose, because when you lose a button on your item, you're going to be looking and it's just like, oh, I give up. You're going to donate it. Don't do that. Put that button, sew it on the hem of your blouse or the hem of your shirt. And then if you do accidentally lose a button, you got it. And you don't have to go fishing through the drawer. I do that with all our clothes. If we get buttons, I just immediately put them on. Okay, I'm OCD. But that way, we are all set. And too many years I went and was like, I don't know if I have another button. I know it came with one, so now I just do that out of habit. Also, so you don't have to take it back off, consider securing your buttons on. Over the years, our buttons are loosely being put on our new garments. More of the lesser quality, but even still, some of the high quality end garments could be that way. So secure them on so that you don't lose them. When you wash your clothes, make sure your slacks and your jeans that you have it zipped up and buttoned. Why? Because that zipper will snag on anything. My husband's jeans go into with our towels. The mindset says the towels will wash the jeans and the jeans are rough enough, clean the towel. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that zipper, if it's left open, can actually start tearing on your towels and stuff. So try to make sure that those kind of things are secure. Ladies, if you throw your bras into the washer, make sure they're secured. If you have a laundry bag, throw them in there so they don't get caught on other things. So you want to make sure your clothing lasts longer. Another way for you to make your clothes last longer, hang them up to dry. Not everything has to go into the dryer. Think about it. All that lint that gets into your dryer, that goes into that lint collection piece, that is your clothing getting smaller. No, not because you gained weight, but because it's getting thinner, because you keep putting heat on it and that lint is coming out of your clothes. So consider hanging your clothes. And you know what? The nice thing about hanging like my husband's men's shirts is you put it on a hanger. I hang ours in our bathroom. It looks like a Chinese laundromat. Not a big deal to me because we don't get a lot of company. And when we do have company, I'll just say ignore the laundry hanging in the bathroom. Or I don't say anything at all. If they don't like it, I guess I don't know what to say. But when it's on the hanger, the nice thing about that is that once it's dry, it goes right into the closet. I don't have to iron. I don't have to do any of that. And actually, I don't iron much of my husband's shirts because he doesn't like to iron like when I was really sick with the Lyme disease, he had to do a lot of the laundry. And he is not interested in ironing anything. And quite honestly, ironing is tedious. Some people find it therapeutic. Personally, I don't. I find it very tedious and long because I have to iron my curtains every season when I put out new curtains. And the new curtains are actually curtains I've made over the years, and I'm just reusing them. So these curtains are lasting me a long time. Now, so if you can, let them hang dry. They dry pretty easily in the winter, most especially if your house is at a comfortable 68 degrees or more, whatever it is that you choose to do. They won't turn to icicles unless your house doesn't have a heating system. One thing I also do, and if I'm baking and I'm not doing anything else in the kitchen, I'll put my larger rack in the kitchen so the heat of the oven dries my sweaters. You don't want to hang your sweaters on a hanger because what happens is you get these little hanger dimples. And you don't want that because then you're putting it on it looks wonky. So try not to do that. Does it happen once in a while? It happens to everybody once in a while. So consider putting your sweaters and anything that could stretch on a drying rack. Another thing you could do to save on the water part is hand wash. Okay, I know you don't want to do this, but you know what? Hand washing does not take that much time. I'm not talking about your jeans, your towels, or your sheets and stuff. I'm talking about your shirts, your undergarments, and so forth. And if you did it every day, you don't have to worry about it. And I know some of you are saying, Lori, but you're home all the time. Actually, I don't do this every day. What I actually do for hand washing, I got these 2 big buckets from Walmart. And I bought one of those devices. I bought it this year that you can kind of press and it sucks up and it, oh my gosh, my clothes came out beautifully. And when I put them on the line this summer, I didn't have soap residue that you can sometimes have. And as hard as I try, using the washer, I told my husband, I said, I need to do a deep clean in my washer because for some reason stuff is being left on it. So I like hand washing my clothes because they seem to be coming out cleaner. So my next project will be to deep clean the washer, and that means I have to do a bleach load, which means I have to go to the store and buy some bleach because I don't have any. And then I have to do 1 or 2 cycles with vinegar in it so that it cleans that system out. My husband might have to, and also take all the pieces out. I do that every month anyway, because if you take that middle piece out that has the fabric softener holder, that has kind of in there. If you can clean it out weekly, it's better. But if you only do laundry once a week, once a month would probably be okay. But it builds up soap residue, mold, all kinds of stuff. And yes, in your washer you can get mold. So clean that, and first of all, your laundry will smell better. But yeah, I have to go and I have to do a deep clean, and I do this, but not often enough, obviously. But I like hand washing my clothes. First of all, I'm working my upper body. That's good for your body. That's good for you. And when you're done, you feel better. Do I like having to do it? No, but I'm doing my best to cut back in areas that are costing us money. And that's what this whole series is about, is how to cut back. Many things that I'm sharing with you are things that I've done for years. Hanging my clothes in the bathroom to dry, I've done that for years. Hanging clothes in front of the heater vents or in front of the oven, I've done it for years. Hand washing, I've done, when we were first married and up in Maine, we didn't have a washer or dryer, and my husband wasn't working. I wasn't working at the time, and it was like, I have to get my husband's clothes clean. And so I did. I washed them in, we had a clawfoot tub in our place that we were renting, and I hand washed all his clothes and I put it out on the line. Fortunately, we had a wood dryer so that his jeans would dry quickly, the towels would dry quickly, and so it worked for us. I don't have a wood stove anymore. Otherwise, I would hang everything. But right now, I'm just going to be putting jeans, towels, and sheets into the dryer because I don't have enough space in my home to hang these items all over the place. Be kind of, I don't know, my grandkids would love it because it'd feel like tent city for them. But I do hang everything out in the summer when the weather is appropriate. So take care of that. Another tip with your clothing, if you are buying your laundry detergent, you can save money. Seriously. Do not use, if they say use a full measure, they have these big cups. I use OxyClean. They have these big cups. And I don't use that whole thing. I use a quarter of it. And my clothes come out fine. It still gets that little bit of a residue, but I'm going to work on that and get that all taken care of. But your clothes come out much cleaner. And you don't need it. And then feel your clothes. You're going to feel kind of like soapy on it. And if you take your clothes out of the washer, even though you've done a double rinse, or maybe you don't do a double rinse, I do a second rinse so that residue comes off, just to make sure. And it does. That second rinse does help. What I would recommend you doing is just taking one item, whether it's an undergarment, a pair of socks, or whatever, bring it up into your bathroom sink, and then just kind of put it through the sink and see how much soap is still in your clothing. You might be surprised. So try to cut back on how much soap you need. Another way to reduce that soap residue is to use vinegar in your rinse. I use vinegar in that rinse. You can make your own. I'm not here to share how to make vinegar today, but you can use vinegar as a rinse instead of fabric softener. Why I recommend that is fabric softener, again, has stuff in it that adheres to your clothing. And the more that stays on your clothes, the longer it's there, it's actually ruining your clothes, and it just kind of builds up. When I buy thrift clothing, clothes at the thrift store or consignment stores, I have to wash them a couple of times to get that residue out. That being said, you can reduce that. Another thing you can do is, if you don't want to do that and you like the scent of your fabric softener, you do what's necessary. But you, as with the soap, do the same thing with your fabric softener. What I did about 20 years ago, before I discovered the benefits of vinegar, is I would take my laundry softener, and I would take 1/4. So let's make this easy. A cup of softener, 3 cups of water, put it in a different container, shake it up, and then when you needed fabric softener, you put it in the fabric softener rinse cycle thing, right? And even still, that still left a texture on my clothes after it came out of the dryer. But you know what? If you like your fabric softener, consider cutting that back by 1/4, and you have less stuff going into your clothes. And then do a second rinse. I found that fabric softener, and I would buy good quality, it would still leave static clean. Vinegar does not leave a static clean. Okay, so now you're putting your items into the dryer. If you're choosing to do that, you might want to take some rags. You can get inexpensive washcloths at Walmart in packs of 18, I think it is, and you can just leave them in a container of vinegar. And then as you put clothes into the dryer, wring that out, throw it in your dryer, and you have a fabric softener with no static cling. Try it. If you might find, I think you will, I am 100% sure you will, maybe you won't, but okay, 99.9%. You might find that you're saving money, and you'll be happy about that. Because even if you don't want to give up washing all your clothes in the washer, and I don't blame you, and you don't want to give up using the dryer because of your work schedule, because you have kids running all over the place, even though you're home, you don't have that kind of time. That makes sense, and I respect that. So kind of use these as ideas. And another thing I want to bring, I hate this topic, but we are still wearing masks in healthcare facilities. So when we go, I still wear a cloth mask, and one facility makes me wear a paper mask, and that's another drama story that I don't agree with. But because I need to see that healthcare provider, I will wear it. But and you can wear that over your mask. But I went to my hygienist office, and when I had arrived, one of them was complaining about the mask, just being irritable, and I asked her, I said, can't you wear a cloth mask? Because there was other girls that were, and she goes, yeah, but they're just a pain. You have to go home and wash them. Folks, those masks are so tiny that all you have to do is just put a tiny, tiny bit of Dawn detergent on a little bit of scrub brush or in your mask, and you scrub it, rinse it again, and hang it dry. It's going to be dry in a few hours. When I gave these away, or when I sold them, I let people know how to wash them. A lot of people still threw them into the washer and dryer. That's what's going to wear out your mask. I've made mine, now I've had them for 2 years. I haven't had to make new ones, and I refuse to make new ones because I am hopeful that we won't have to wear them anymore. But I do like having them so that if I'm sick and I don't have on hand what I need from the pharmacy, I can wear something and feel better about protecting others. If I'm coughing and sneezing, I have my mask. And I hope other people have learned that masks do have their purpose. And even though the majority of the population feels the pandemic is over, we need to be respectful for those who require it, even though many of them might not agree with it. And we need to come home and wash those masks. One of the people at one of the organizations told me that the reason they don't let us wear our cloth masks is because nobody washes them. I laughed. I said, you are joking, right? And she goes, well, it's true. And I said, I agree with you. People do not wash their cloth masks. I do. But maybe I'm just not the norm. I said to her, I said, so How do you know the people walking in with these paper masks are not just putting it on their rear view mirror and wearing them again? And how many workers here are wearing a mask over and over again with every patient they see? I went to one specialist, not in a healthcare organization of the hospital setting, but in another setting, and he was wearing his N95 over and over. The last visit, I ended up canceling him as a doctor because his mask was visibly filthy. And I told my husband, and I told him, I said, you can take your mask off. I was trying to be kind because I was there for another reason where my mask had to come off. And he goes, no, it's here for you. And I'm like, no, I don't want it. But I told my husband I won't go back. Because to me, if you're going to wear your mask over and over again, whether it's cloth or paper, you are disrespecting yourself as well as others. Why did I bring that up? Because I still have masks in our home. We use them if the allergens are really bad. If I work in David's shop, I might want a mask because of the dust and stuff. So we still have a need for them, but more importantly, the flu viral season is here. It's just respectful if you have to go out. If you don't. Now, I didn't mean to go on a tangent of health accountability, but I just wanted to make you aware that cloth masks, you can hand wash them and they're dry in a little bit. You don't have to do a separate wash in the laundry. You don't have to do a separate wash or drying system. Easy peasy. Scrub it out. I do. I use a nail brush on my mask and then I hang it after I've washed it, rinsed it twice, and hang it. You know what? It's done. I even end up doing it to my husband because he kind of like throws it in the sink, and because when he gets home he's busy, but he hasn't had to wear a mask for a long time. But if he goes to a facility with me, I just wash them. You know why? Because I'm already doing it. It's not a big deal. Let me see if there's any other things that I can share with you about clothing. Okay, so watch for sales with your clothes, okay? You can stretch your dollars if you're watching your sales. I tend to do that. And by the way, because I say I tend to do this, does not mean that you have to. This is just the way I am. It's just the way I have managed to be able to save money and stretch our dollars, because we've gone through many times where our budget is so tight, you just can't breathe sometimes. So I get it for those who say, oh, you don't understand. That's so easy for you to say. No, I do understand. So watch for sales. If you're saving your money, you know that loose change you've been saving, and all of a sudden you see tank tops on sale. That's what I get on sale in the fall, is I watch for those sales so that I can have a new batch of tank tops. Don't buy them every year. That's one staple item, like underwear, that I go through and I wear out. So I buy those on sale so that I have a nice colorful stash the following year. I haven't actually shopped for them yet, and I should, but maybe they're all gone. I don't know. With the craziness that's going on out there, I'm kind of like, maybe I'll dye my old ones. I don't know. Purchase in multiples. So undergarments, socks, jeans, whatever it is that you wear every single day, purchase in multiples. Even my husband, even his shirts, he likes a certain shirt, and he'll say, can we fit this in the budget to get enough for work? He has a 3-day work week, but sometimes, or in the past, he's had some extra days that he works. So if he does have to work an extra few days, we have other shirts, or I'll try to get them washed so he doesn't run out. He just likes particular shirts, and that's what we do. So buy in multiples of those items, and buy ahead of time. My husband runs out of socks. They start getting holes in them. He'll say, honey, these are getting holes. I said, okay, here's a pack. And then I look for sales so that I can replace that pack of socks. And trust me, undergarments are insanely overpriced. But you know what? If I had to make it, they'd be expensive too. Buy quality so that they last longer. Buy used where you can. If you know quality garments, go to the thrift and consignment stores. You're going to get a good deal. I bought a snowsuit or ski suit. I was at a consignment store. And I walked in and I saw it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this. And I asked my husband, I said, do you want one because they have one in your size? He goes, no, I'm all set. Well, wouldn't you know, we're driving away and he goes, I wish I got it, because I only spent $25 on this ski suit that is great for when I have to do snow blowing or if I have to go out and help with shoveling and it's bitterly cold. He thought about it and he goes, I should have had you get me that because they're expensive. I got home and this was about 4 or 5 years ago. The regular price would be $150, $175. So, I scored that day. Let's see, I don't always get those kind of deals, but I get all excited when I do. I mentioned line drying or hanging on hangers and stuff. It allows your clothing to last. Hand wash delicates if you can. Do I hand wash them all the time? No. But if I have a big enough load, like with the sheets and the linens and stuff, I'll throw them in there. But I will put whatever is small onto the rack to dry. Let's see. If you can, wash in cold. I know some people prefer hot water for their clothing, but you don't need to. But sometimes I do. Like our towels, I prefer hot water. But you don't have to. It still will get your clothes clean. It's kind of a mind thing for me, is like, I like it hot. But everything. I said something about, or maybe I didn't, make sure you wash your clothes with your zippers zipped in the button so that those zippers do not tear out on other clothes. Use half the laundry soap or make your own. And I recommended a quarter of the recommended amount. Do what's best for you. Water down your fabric softener, use vinegar or make your own vinegar. Now these are just options I've already said, so these are repetitive, but these are options to help you save money. Keep your leather shoes in good condition, okay? When you wear them, and I know that some professional men wear nice leather shoes to work. If you can buy 2 pair, that way you're alternating your shoes. And at night, take 5 or 10 minutes and kind of clean them up a little bit. And for those of you who have multiples and multiples of shoes in your closet, maybe they're just shoved in there and you only organize it every 6 months, consider putting your shoes in shoe boxes or keeping the shoe boxes they come in, because you are causing them to wear out or be dirty. You can't get the dust out or something if you haven't worn them for a while. So keep those shoe boxes. I know my winter shoes are in them, and then I put them away and then they come out. So, and my sandals come out in the summertime, but I still put my sandals away or dress shoes because, well, I'm not in the workforce, so I'm not wearing them. I'm in socks and slippers or whatever. So let's see. Oh, so when you're doing that, just kind of clean them up. Check your ties and stuff if you have ties. Just make sure they're in working order. When you buy shoes, make sure you have extra shoelaces. I don't know about you guys, but when my husband ties his shoes, he's really rough with it. And so his shoelaces will break before his shoes wear out. And I like that he has 2 pairs. When I see a sale, we get his shoes at Bass Pro. Is that right? Yeah, at Bass Pro. That's where we go for date nights. We go to Bass Pro. But he, so when I see them on sale, I'll say, David, check. And if it's the same shoe we've always bought, I'll still have him try them on. And I buy 2. Because his shoes will wear out. And so I like to make sure we have what he has found to be comfortable and get them. I don't buy more than 2 pair at a time because, there's no need to have a surplus of shoes, even though things change over time. So keep your leather shoes in good repair. Keep your shoes in boxes when you're not wearing them. Your summer shoes that summer's gone, put them in boxes if you're not wearing them. If you are somebody who has boat and you have boat shoes and stuff, put them away. Make sure they're clean, put them away, and then they'll be ready for next season, and you'll be glad that you did. Okay, I already mentioned about checking buttons and stuff when you're purchasing and secure them on. And I already mentioned that not all items need to be dry cleaned. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to say about clothing. I don't. I think that is it. And some things that you can do with your clothing. I'm a seamstress, so I've done this for years for a number of people. You can repurpose your clothing to be another item. So if you have a formal gown, you can take that formal gown and make it into a tea-length dress or a formal dinner dress where it goes down to your knee. you know what? That is a great thing to do. You've spent a lot of money on these gowns. You can actually alter them so that you can wear them out again. So, and I know many people still go out to formal dinners, Christmas parties and stuff. Dave and I don't. He doesn't work for a company that does that. When I worked at the hospital, they had formal dinners and stuff like that. So that's where I wore them. I still have some fun dresses, but they are stored, and I'm actually thinking about repurposing them into something else instead of wearing them again. So all in time. But my kids are welcome to them, but there's only one daughter that has my size, so I don't know if that'll happen. So you can repurpose them into another item, another clothing item, or into some other creative venue. And you can also put those clothes, if you've taken good care of your clothes, put them in consignments, and know your consignment store schedule. In December or January, they start bringing in all the formal gowns. That's the best time to donate, or actually bring to a consignment store, because then they will get sold. If your winter coats, I think if you check with your consignment store, they have a list of when they start taking these items in, and you'll be able to sell better. But make sure, the other thing is, if you're taking good care of your clothes, making sure, if you're one who doesn't like to wear stains anyway, if you can't get it out, don't donate that one, and don't bring it to a consignment store, because they can't use them. They can't sell them. Most people will not wear something with a stain in it. And personally, even at a thrift store, if I see a stain on something, I'm not going to take my chance, because even if it's $3, $5, $10, far less than what I could buy new, it's going to be too costly for me to take a chance and find out it's not going to come out. And there was one wool sweater I really, really loved, and so they didn't have good lighting in it in the store. So I went over and brought it to the window, and it had a stain on it, and I was disappointed, because I want to make sure that if I'm buying thrift, that, okay, it was used before. I might have to go home, and I will wash it a few times, but I want it to be stain-free, buttons working, zippers working, and all that. But you actually get more money back if you do that. And if you bring your things to a real quality consignment store, they will check it over for you. So I don't know if these tips have been helpful. And if you're not one to send things to the thrift store, to the consignment stores, there's always thrift stores that appreciate quality clothes that you no longer are interested in wearing. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you have a fabulous day. God bless.